In many workplaces, conversations can sometimes become tense, sparking strong opinions or even conflicts. The way we manage these challenging discussions can influence a project's success or the strength of our relationships. Hello, I'm a leadership coach with over 30 years of experience in executive roles across communications, marketing, and public relations. In my work, I help clients reach their professional goals, and in developing this course, I thought deeply about the nuances of turning tense conversations into constructive exchanges. Navigating these discussions with mutual respect is essential for both personal and professional growth. For this reason, we all need the skills to manage difficult conversations effectively and to build resilient relationships. This course will guide you in preparing for tough conversations. You'll learn strategies to work through your emotions, maintain focus, and keep discussions productive. Finally, we'll explore how to conclude challenging conversations in a way that yields positive outcomes. At work, we often rely on logic and facts to achieve goals and solve problems, keeping emotions at bay. However, in certain situations, our feelings come into play, especially when disagreements surface. While we may want to avoid these emotionally charged discussions, there are times when having them is essential. Recognizing the steps to navigate difficult conversations can be invaluable in these moments. The first step in handling a tough conversation is deciding the time, place, and method. Timing is crucial. If there's a crisis, it's wise to wait until emotions have calmed before setting up a conversation. Ideally, schedule a face-to-face meeting within a few days. When inviting someone to talk, be clear about the purpose of the discussion. The location is also important. A neutral place, like a conference room, where you can sit at right angles, fosters a sense of equal footing. Whether the meeting is in person or virtual, ensure you have privacy, won't be interrupted, and have plenty of time. Difficult conversations shouldn't feel rushed. After scheduling the conversation, the next step is to review the facts you'll discuss. While viewpoints may differ, facts offer common ground. For example, if you're discussing an employee's performance, review recent evaluations and relevant data. By compiling the relevant facts and understanding them well, you can keep the discussion focused and avoid tangential arguments. Another step in preparing is to consider the potential consequences. Think about what you hope to achieve from the conversation, but also be ready for the outcome to diverge from your plan. Are there possible negative consequences? For instance, if you're addressing a colleague's rude behavior toward another coworker, could it strain their relationship further? Negative outcomes don't necessarily mean you shouldn't proceed, but they're worth considering. Anticipating these outcomes allows you to prepare a response. Listening is critical when planning and preparing for tough conversations. It's about more than waiting for your turn to speak. It's about genuinely engaging with the other person. True listening involves empathy, where you try to understand the other person's emotions on a deeper level. Conversations like these can be emotional, and while that can feel uncomfortable, letting someone express their emotions builds trust and rapport. The final step in preparation is planning what to say. Thoughtful planning can help you convey your points clearly and keep the discussion on track. Avoid scripting, but jot down key talking points, especially for your opening remarks. You might also consider running your plan by a trusted advisor or supervisor. Reflecting on a previous tough conversation can be helpful. Did your preparation make a difference? Ultimately, the outcome of a difficult conversation often hinges on the quality of your preparation. By carefully planning and refining your approach, you're more likely to reach a positive result. Reflecting on challenging workplace conversations, you may recall moments when emotions disrupted your ability to communicate clearly. During these difficult exchanges, staying in control of your feelings is essential. Recognizing the key aspects of emotional management before a conversation veers off course gives you a better chance of turning difficult conversations into productive ones. Interestingly, one effective way to stay composed is to acknowledge and express your emotions openly. Suppressing feelings can hinder your ability to discuss issues calmly. Taking time to reflect on your emotions before the meeting can prepare you to express them respectfully. Acknowledging and sharing emotions without assuming how the other person feels helps clear the air and potentially mends old conflicts or strained relationships. Another fundamental element is managing your thoughts. By monitoring your thoughts, you not only control the emotions that stem from them, but you also evaluate the accuracy of your perspective. Thought management prevents you from assuming the other party is antagonistic or expecting the conversation to escalate. A positive mindset, guided by managed emotions, can clarify your thoughts and foster an openness to other perspectives. To maintain a positive attitude, avoid taking things personally. This can be challenging, especially if you feel targeted in the conversation. Yet, in such situations, resisting the urge to defend yourself will better serve your objectives. Focus on the facts rather than reacting to personal characterizations. Additionally, avoid casting blame. If your anger directs you towards someone's behavior, it may prevent you from seeing the deeper causes of the issue and inhibit the other person from understanding your viewpoint. Framing issues objectively yields better results. For example, instead of saying your reports are always late, try saying when the report arrives late, it disrupts our schedule. By removing the word your and focusing on the issue, you make it easier to work together on a solution. The goal of a difficult conversation should be mutual understanding, not a contest of who's right. Think about starting the conversation with a shared objective, such as, our mutual goal is to deliver this project on time with high quality. This approach opens up collaboration and increases the likelihood of a shared solution. Do you sometimes struggle to control your emotions during challenging conversations? What steps do you take to maintain composure and keep the conversation on track? By recognizing your emotional reactions and expressing them with dignity, you can avoid taking things personally or casting blame, thus keeping difficult conversations civil and productive. Often difficult conversations involve disagreements and heightened emotions from one or both parties. As emotions intensify, it's critical to keep the conversation focused. One key to a positive outcome is setting a clear goal. In a heated discussion, it's easy to get lost in complaints or accusations. Enter the conversation with a defined objective and state it clearly, framing it in a way that the other party can support. For instance, you might say, let's look for a more efficient way to divide our responsibilities. Stating the goal out loud helps keep the conversation anchored. Express your viewpoint clearly and directly, being honest about how you feel, and address the main points where there are differences. Careful wording helps ensure that your perspective is understood, setting the stage for collaboration. Remember, though, that your viewpoint isn't the only one in a two-way conversation. Another vital strategy is maintaining an open mind. By showing curiosity about the other person's perspective, you encourage their input, fostering mutual understanding. An open mind is most effective when paired with active listening, paying close attention, engaging positively, and avoiding interruptions. If you're only planning your responses, you're not truly listening. Instead, listen fully, ask clarifying questions, and if helpful, take notes. Empathy also helps you see the conversation from the other person's perspective, creating space for solutions that address both sides. Demonstrating empathy builds trust and indicates that you value their viewpoint. Finally, summarizing what you've heard confirms your understanding of the other person's point of view, reinforcing that you listened closely. Usually, if you listen deeply, empathize, and accurately summarize, the other person will be emotionally prepared to work with you on the next steps. For example, if someone expresses disappointment over not getting a promotion, listen and empathize by acknowledging their feelings. Then summarize. You're disappointed because you felt ready for the promotion, but it didn't happen this time. Is that right? Once they affirm this, you can transition to the action phase. I understand your disappointment. Let's work on development areas to strengthen your candidacy for the next promotion cycle. Reflect on past conversations that didn't go as planned. Did you actively listen and keep an open mind? Using these strategies, such as staying composed, listening empathetically, and summarizing accurately, can lead to more positive outcomes and stronger relationships. With practice, you can improve your ability to handle difficult conversations and reduce any anxiety or hesitation. Over time, these conversations become less daunting, and you become more confident. Think of ending a challenging conversation as the beginning of a strong, positive relationship. Good communication is essential in any relationship, so be sure that when you wrap up a difficult discussion, you're both clear about the next steps. It's also helpful to schedule regular follow-ups to check in on progress and maintain open communication. Recently, I had a client who was reluctant to have a difficult conversation with an employee because she feared hurting or disappointing her. With practice, however, she became more comfortable, and today she shared that her leadership team has praised her growth in emotional intelligence. The practice truly does make a difference. Try these techniques and you'll see results. While managing a difficult conversation is essential, The conversation may fall short if it doesn't end with a concrete solution or mutually agreed action plan. To ensure the conversation concludes meaningfully, consider using positive techniques. For example, involving the other person in brainstorming solutions at the end can lead to mutually agreeable outcomes. After discussing differences, end with a free-flowing exchange of ideas. Encourage their input, listen openly, and explore several options, even if not all are immediately viable. This collaborative approach opens the door to finding a win-win solution. A successful outcome of a difficult conversation should satisfy both parties. To achieve this, you may need to make concessions, especially if they contribute to the other person's buy-in. Even small compromises can lead to significant positive impacts. For example, if you and a business partner are debating your new company's mission statement, compromising on the wording could help you reach an aligned vision. Effective follow-up is also key. Conclude by restating the points of agreement and schedule a follow-up discussion to check on the progress. After the meeting, it's helpful to send a message confirming the agreed actions. This helps both parties stay on track and minimizes the chance of future misunderstandings. Lastly, make it a point to reflect and learn from each difficult conversation. Take a day or two to think about your reactions, communication style, and any improvements for the next time. Reflect on how the conversation ended. Did you both work together to brainstorm a win-win solution? Did you follow up to reinforce the solution and revisit progress? Answering these questions can help you strengthen your skills for future conversations. Let's recap the core principles for conducting and concluding difficult conversations. 1. Preparation. Set a suitable time and place, review the key facts, and anticipate possible outcomes. 2. Emotion management. Stay composed, express emotions matter-of-factly, and avoid taking things personally. 3. Clear communication. Focus on the goal, speak clearly, and avoid blame. 4. Open-minded listening. Engage actively, listen empathetically, and summarize the other's perspective. 5. Solution-focused conclusion. Brainstorm for a win-win solution and ensure alignment on the next steps. 6. Follow-up and reflection. Confirm the solution, revisit progress, and learn from each experience. By applying these techniques, you can lead difficult conversations with confidence and strengthen professional relationships through constructive dialogue.